Hey, Desperate Housewives super fans, welcome back.
I'm Christy Gomez.
I'm Summer Moran, and this opposite, if anybody's confused.
First time listeners are like, what is going on?
We know what you did.
It makes us sick.
We're
We're
going
going
to
to
tell.
tell. I would like to kick off with my moment of desperation because it's a good one and it's fresh. It's nice and fresh. Today I took new headshots and they're the first shots I've had in 2 years. I really wanted something fresh and something that like reflects me more. I wanted something more Galinda-esque, to be completely honest. And I was so excited to shoot with this woman that I shot with during the first week of March in 2020. So, needless to say, I never got to use those headshots, and they were really well done. And so, I had my slotted time was 4:30 and it was in Brooklyn. I spent like the entire day getting ready, hair and rollers, like really took my time doing my makeup. And then I left myself just under an hour to get there because it said it would be 40 minutes. So I go down to the train and I see it says that it's now going to be 45 minutes to get there. And I didn't know why because it was the same route that I had looked at earlier. So I took the C train up to West 4th. I got off there and then I was going to get on the B to go downtown. And then as soon as I transferred, I saw that the B was delayed. So I said, you know what? The F is here. I'll just jump and go one stop down to Broadway Lafayette. Anybody who doesn't know the New York City public transit system is like, what language is this woman speaking?
The F to the B to the M to the G to the.
Yeah. So I get off at Broadway, Lafayette, and it said the B was 1 minute away. And I was like, oh, yes. Like I timed that perfectly. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm like, great. I'm going to be there like right on time. And then what does the announcer say? But all Brooklyn bound B trains are running on the F line.
Sick.
And I said, what am I supposed to do with that information? So since I was at Broadway Lafayette, I could jump on the 6 and I was like I can also take the 5, so I'll just take the 6 to the 5 and then I'll get off at the same stop basically, like on the other side. So I go all the way up the stairs to the 6. I'm starting to sweat. A 6 train has just pulled out of the station, so a ton of people are flooding down the stairs and I'm going the opposite way. And then the 6 comes, I go down to Brooklyn Bridge, get off, transfer to the 5 express train downtown to Brooklyn, and I have to pass the 6 stop that I would have gotten on if I had just left from my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, went up just to go down and pass where I would have started. Anyway, I am on the 5 train, and what does the announcer say? The next and last stop is Crown Heights, Utica Avenue.
Nice. And where was this you were going up to where was the location where you were trying to go?
Not Utica,
Was it in
not
Brooklyn?
Crown Heights. So I had to go to like Prospect Park ish. Yeah, yeah. It was still in Brooklyn, but Brooklyn's a big borough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so at this point, I am so frustrated. I'm going back and forth with the photographer. I'm like, I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm already 5 minutes late. So I start to go up the stairs and I'm like, whatever, I'll call a car to take me. But then the 2 pulls up right next to the 5. And I turned back around. I got on that 2 train and I got off at exactly the stop I needed to be at. And then it was about a 10-minute walk to the studio. I was sweating. I was beaten down, broken, but I got my headshots. All went extremely well. And I'm really, really happy with what I've seen so far. So please, guys, fingers crossed that I don't hate them when I get them back.
My thing is when you're going somewhere to take photos, take the car.
I know.
Well, I guess it's November, but if it was like dead of summer, like, mm-mm. Because that's the thing with New York. You can leave your apartment looking amazing and then you show up somewhere looking bad.
Yeah, I really don't like that. Like, I was going to have to spend money on the headshots. And so I was trying to avoid paying for a car as well, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It all worked out. I'm glad that it's done because I've been stressing about it for a few days.
That's like one of the benefits of LA. It's like if you were here getting headshots, you would just be in your air conditioned, temperature controlled car, maybe sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
But that reminds me of the time I was at Rumble NoHo and I got on the F to go home to the Upper East Side. And then I just hear, hey, all of a sudden
No.
I'm in like Flushing, Queens because somebody had jumped in front of the track. And I'm like, why? You didn't have to do that, actually. Like, kill yourself in your own home. Like, don't do it when it's going to affect somebody else.
So what about you? What was your moment of desperation?
Hey, super fans. So sorry. So, this is Christy, obviously. My entire moment of desperation didn't render properly on our recording platform, which is really crazy. I think the government hacked because I went on a really big rant about how much I hate Donald Trump, like put me in jail, I don't care. I had a really, really funny bit, like nail me to the cross, like Jesus, I will go down hating Donald Trump. No good deed will I do, like the whole shebang. So I'm really sad about it. But anyway, basically, my moment of desperation wasn't really like, I was just kind of, I feel like it's not going to be as funny me sitting here talking to the phone by myself, but pretty much I was really mad about the election results because, again, if Donald Trump has no enemies, I'm truly dead. But so after like a week of just working from home and not wanting to talk to anybody, I got an invitation from this guy who I barely knew. We had some mutual friends, but he was like, hey girl, like come out with me and some girlfriends, like I'm in town. And I said, you know what? I would love to. And I had the most fun. Like it was the most welcoming group of people. And I don't know, like we had dinner and I was just expecting to have dinner and then go home, but then we were out until like 2 a.m. I closed the night out at the karaoke bar with Defying Gravity, danced on tables, and really had a blast. Also, guys, on election night, I drank a lot, and I texted a news anchor whose number they don't know I have from my burner phone, and yeah, got into it really. I'm really sorry, you guys. This bit was literally so funny, but like that's okay. That's all you're getting. Deepest apologies as usual.
Thank you so much for that, future Christy. And now let's get into the episode, shall we?
This is season 3, episode 10. It's called The Miracle Song. And we open with the annual winter block party on Wisteria Lane.
Everybody is invited and it's like this big deal, and then pedophile Art shows up dressed as Santa Claus, and everybody gets silent because McCluskey is spreading rumors around about him.
And to be fair, McCluskey's not the only one doing it. Kind of just like everybody is talking about this. It's kind of funny that it hasn't gotten back to him at this point. But I do have a note here that says, I'm really glad we're getting this episode now. Like, I feel like it's good timing for us personally because we're like heading into mid-November and like things are starting to gear up for Christmas. So it felt very topical and timely.
It did. I wish we got it like a little bit later, but it's okay. So he's dressed up as Santa, and I said Nessa Rose is the elf.
Uh-huh. He is like very enthusiastic and literally everybody is just staring at him and nobody's basically even moving a muscle. My note says, do you ever get secondhand embarrassment so bad from a show that you have to remind yourself that they are actors? Because I had to do that this time around.
Yeah, because I kind of started to feel bad for him.
Yeah, so did I.
I was like, oh, Art and Nessa.
I know.
Oh my god, it was kind of literally giving Elphaba and Nessa because Elphaba shows up and everybody's like, They're like the
Wait, yeah, they're all
yeah.
just staring.
That's literally Elphaba and Nessa at Shiz University.
Wow, that is so kooky. Oh, have you been reading the book?
I have. I haven't been too far into it because my Rage Plus time change. I've been really tired at night, but I'm still like
Yeah.
in the beginning. I'm just like fighting through the beginning of her little toddlerhood until I get to Shiz.
Ugh. Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
like it's getting a little bit better. It's just like hard to follow in the beginning. But like I read a couple. I was like, how long is this gonna last? And I was like, okay, this reads a lot more interesting once I get to Glinda. Hold on, I think I read some foreshadowing because I just got to the part where they were talking about Ozma. And they were like, Ozma is Elphaba's age right now, like when she comes of
right.
age. Is that Glinda?
I don't think so.
Because I think that would make sense, like
Ozma
for them
was something
to.
else, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, because I would think it would make sense to introduce her like that.
I'm pretty sure, like I could be wrong, but I think she was the Witch of the South.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Because when they said she's Elphaba's age, I was like, okay, that's foreshadowing for Glinda. Oh, I've been relating to Define Gravity to myself, like, so if you care to find me, look to the western sky. Like a little bit too much to me, where like I didn't even like click in my mind that she's talking about becoming the Wicked Witch of the West.
what do you
I don't
mean?
know. I just like forgot about that until I watched The Wizard of Oz the other night, and I was like, oh wait, she's the Wicked Witch of the West. I just forgot. Because like in my mind, The Wizard of Oz is it's just like its own entity.
I get that. And also it works for you because you're on the West Coast.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm becoming Wicked Witch of the West now, for real.
Wicked Witch of the West Coast.
Yes, that's me.
And I'm the Good Witch of the Northeast.
No, literally, it's crazy.
That is so shivers down my spine.
What do I keep saying all the time? And goodness knows the wicked die alone. Like I can't stop doing that.
We are one scene in, by the way.
Okay. So then everybody's decorating for Christmas, and Ian's parents are coming, and Susan does a bad English impression. It reminded me of you.
Thank you. I hate this scene. And
Me
the
too.
reason why is because Ian wants Susan to cook for his parents, which I just think is like a little presumptuous, number one. Number two, I might be on the Ian hate train after
I was
this
going to say,
episode.
he's not so great after this now, is he, huh?
No, he's not. But I feel like we have a different writer, and that person didn't watch any of the previous episodes because
Yeah.
he just assumes she's going to do it. And she's like, she has to basically come out as a bad cook. And he doesn't really take that for an answer, which is so strange to me. Why does he need her to do this if she's not good?
Also, it's like you have like billions of dollars. Why don't you just hire a private chef for the night?
Yes, and you literally have a man named Rupert who will bring it to you on a silver platter.
Yeah. And like it just I don't know, it was all really like stupid and bad, and I hated it every second. Like if a man looked at me and
Yeah.
said that to me and said you have no choice, I would say, well, there's the door, bitch. There's the door. What is that from?
I don't know, but I feel like you just turned into a little woodland creature from like Mother Goose. There's the door, bitch. Wait, why do I know what that is now?
I don't know. It's on
I do
TikTok.
feel like I know.
There's the door.
Oh, it.
Oh, you know what?
Are you
I think it's
looking it
from
up?
it's from Scream Queens.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Chanel on Scream Queens. Yes. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Isn't it Leah Michelle's character?
Yeah, no, it's
There's the door.
Then leave.
There's the door, bitch!
I need to watch that
Such
again.
an old audio. Like, I'm having this flood of memories of of seeing videos when people would have the Lea Michele voice be like their dog. Like it just cuts to like a dog and the paw. There's the door, bitch.
We Oh, here's one with the quail. Wait, look at this
And the
one.
quail.
Oh my god.
I haven't done one of these in a long time, but tears check.
There's the door, bitch.
But like the way you said it was so funny because it was like so frail. Oh god. Like I am actually crying full on tears. Then Gabby is back to coaching the girls and she wants to get rid of little Amy, who is the girl from That's So Raven. Again, don't know this actress's name, but she's just ever present in early 2000s television. And she is just not super like naturally good at being a little 10-year-old model. And she advises Vern to get rid of her because you're only as strong as your weakest client.
The girl Sherry is really good, and that's young Chloe Grace Moretz. Mother Hodge is watching old movies of Alma, and Bree comes in and she's like, "I love old movies," and Alma's like, or sorry, Mother Hodge is like, "You're so much better than my son. Leave him, leave him, leave him." Which is honestly so real. I feel like if I had a son and he grew up to be like a terrible man, every girl he brought home, I'd be like, "Leave, like, get out, get out, get out." Like girl code. I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Girl, like he's the worst. He should die alone. He's an incel."
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah. So like
1,000%.
okay, like Mother Hodge being for the girls.
If Bree and Gloria could have truly teamed up, they would have been unstoppable.
No, they really would have. So then Nessa Rose is banging on Lynette's car and she's like, "You got Art fired from the youth center." And she's like, "You were misinterpreting everything. You don't even know the truth. Those photos were of boys from his team. Blah, 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 blah. And they're getting abused in town and Lynette doesn't care." But the thing is, it's like, okay, if that's the truth, why were those pictures hanging up in his creepy basement and not in his office at the youth center? Like publicly for everybody to see. Why are they in his private space?
Also, I'm wondering now, do you think Nessa Rose had seen that? Like, I mean, granted, she was in the wheelchair. Maybe she couldn't get down the stairs, but do you think she saw? No, I'm not even trying to be funny, but like, do you think she ever saw that area?
Yeah, well, I think so because it came from his old wherever he lived before, so he must have known about it. She must
And
have
it
known
didn't
about
strike her as being super weird.
I just misgendered somebody again.
I didn't love this episode, and there was something lackluster about it to me until we get like into the meat and potatoes of it. But before that can happen, we have to have Susan go over to Bree to ask her for help with preparing Ian's parents' dinner. This is ridiculous.
And again, she could have just ordered food, but whatever. And Susan's like, "Of course I'll help," like whatever. Or Bree's like, "Of course I'll help."
Bree.
And then she's telling her about Orson moving out. And then at the same time, Edie is kind of yelling at Mike. She's like, "Why would you make yourself look suspicious?" Yeah. Real. I just love like Mike, Edie, and Carlos hanging out together. Like I loved that. There was something about it.
For sure.
Like, this is a great trio. Then the cops come to the door And as he's getting arrested, Susan and Brie are walking outside, and Susan's like, definitely don't take him back. And then they hear him get arrested for the arrest of Monique Beauregard, whatever her name is.
Poulier.
Poulier, yeah. And Brie perks up and she's like, oh, he's getting arrested, period. Don't have to leave him. And it's like, just because he's doesn't mean it's the right guy. Like, are you stupid?
Right.
She's so like,
But
oh my
Brie
God.
basically takes that as like, you know, case closed. It wasn't Orson, blah, blah, blah. And then we go to this like more lighthearted story, which was my favorite storyline, even though it was the D story. Gabby and Vern going to talk to Amy's hot dad.
And the second she sees it's a hot dad, she's like, okay, we're not firing Amy. And she's like, Amy just needs like a little bit of help. Why don't we like get together and I can help her at your house? Vern, you're not invited because Vern is like not pro Amy like me. So she basically forces herself on her.
Yeah. And then Edie visits Mike in prison. He's giving her all these notes about like, here's what you have to do, blah, 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 my tools, the lawyer, whatever. And Edie's like basically not listening because she's like, okay, we're breaking up. I'm breaking up with you. And she says, I think we should see other people. And Mike's response is, you're telling me this on the day I'm put into a men's prison.
I just, again, like, I remember the Edie Mike storyline being so much worse and, like, so
Yeah,
in
me
your
too.
face and more sinister. And I kind
Yeah.
of would have liked, like, a bigger blow up. I would have kind of liked to see maybe, like, them get engaged or something. And, like, up
Ooh.
the stakes a little bit more.
Okay, but you know how, you know, like all those Mandela effects?
Yeah.
What if in the previous timeline, the storyline was more sinister and like in your face and something like that happened? Because you and I remember it as being like worse than it actually is.
I just think so much happens in this show that it's like it's hard. I've watched the show 8 times and I never remember everything. But you know what's crazy? I do have this Mandela effect of I remember watching like my mom turning the show on like 2 years before I watched it of like Juanita like young running outside and Gabby in a bathrobe chasing her around being like get back inside, get back inside. I watched the whole show waiting for that scene. It never happened. But it's really weird. Like I remember seeing
That's
that on
weird.
TV. Yeah. It was like it must have been like season 6 or 7. It was like a couple years before I watched it. And I have like a vivid memory of Madison De La Garza. And that's how I found out she was on the show, running around. And
Right.
Gabby's in a bathrobe screaming at her to get back
Huh.
inside. And there's no such scene.
That's really strange.
I know.
That is really, really strange. It's almost like how you and I both remembered a scene of Tom watching the kids for the first time alone.
Yeah. I guess, you know, the memory just fails you sometimes.
Yeah, or you're in a different timeline anyway.
I don't think so. So then
Susan shows up at the prison to visit Mike. And I just wrote that I love them so much. She's offering to help get him out. She's like, oh, what's your bail? And he's like, $1 million.
and she doesn't doubt him at all. She's like, of course I'm going to help you. He's like, are you going to ask if I did it? She goes, no, because I know you didn't. And it's like, of course. What a classic story of this man choosing terrible, like self-centered, love Edie, but like terrible, doesn't actually care woman over like this girl who would do anything for him.
She would go to the ends of the earth for him.
Yeah, but he disregarded her for somebody who manipulated him and didn't even care. You're just a man. It's just what
You're
you
just a
do.
boy.
We haven't done that in a while.
Even just for a day. Yeah, we really haven't. And I was thinking about how like I feel such a kinship to Reba singing that song, like that particular version of it. And now I'm watching Reba, the sitcom, and it's like, oh, everything old is new again. Like I feel a connection to my sister, Reba McEntire.
That's how I feel with Idina Menzel. I think I just impersonated her so much that I just feel a kinship.
It took.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
My split personality disorder.
Yeah, you and Trisha.
Yeah. Do you see she got to go to the premiere?
She did?
Yeah, no, she looked beautiful. I'm so happy for her. Like, her life has
Wait.
completely turned around. But like, she just looks so beautiful, and I'm just like so happy for her because she went through so much.
Okay, but why? Like, who was the premiere for in LA?
What do you mean?
The premiere.
What do you mean the premiere in LA? Who is it for?
You can pack your things and leave.
The little quail feet.
I know. So Gabby is at Amy's house, and Amy is like, "Are you watching me? Come outside." And she goes, "Oh, I don't want to go outside. We're watching you from right here." And then she's talking to the hot dad. And then we see, there was such a funny scene. Amy like hits herself in the head with a baton. And,
Right.
and Gabby just like, there's a shot of her looking through the blinds with like this look of disgust. Like the look on her face is so funny. She just goes, and then she closes the blinds and does not watch Amy.
I can't blame her. Also, what's the dad's name? Bill?
Something like that. One of the 10 men names that exist.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care too much about his kid either because he he pays no attention to what she's doing outside.
He doesn't notice that she completely closes the blinds.
Right.
And then Amy walks in and she's like, "Oh my God, did you see me? It just spun 3 times and then I caught it." And Gabby's like, "No, do it again. I'll watch." And then Amy leaves, comes back, sees them holding hands.
Then we go back to Susan. She starts looking something up in the phone book, and we know exactly what it is, but Ian doesn't. Ian walks in, he brings her flowers, and he knows that Bree is the one who's going to be cooking for Susan's behalf.
Yeah, because he says, "What's for dinner?" And she says, like, "Duck confit and pomme de crumble." And he's like, "So Bree's making it." That was like the 1 second I liked him in the episode.
I think foie gras was in there because I think that phrase is following me around lately. Like, I have never been so privy to foie gras the way that I have been in the past week. I see it everywhere. I hear it everywhere. I am foie gras out, and I've never had it.
Well, maybe that means you're supposed to try a foie gras.
Well, I don't want to try a foie gras.
Oh my God, imagine you tried one and then you got really sick and had to go to the hospital.
You are mean. That was unprovoked. Haha, imagine you got food poisoning. Haha. There's the door, bitch.
There's the door, bitch.
Oh man, I want to title this episode "There's the Door, Bitch," but it has nothing to do with
There's the door,
episode.
bitch. So then Susan goes to poker. Oh wait, no. First she tells Ian, she says, "I saw Mike and he really needs help." And then Ian gets kind of weird about it, which is like, come on. You know the situation. Like, you would do anything
And
if
like,
Jane
not
woke
for
up.
nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, how would he be acting if Jane woke up tomorrow?
I think he's just like, it's this internal thing where he's not jealous of Mike. He's jealous that Susan has Mike still. And
Aww.
Jane doesn't, like, Jane's clearly not going to wake up. He's leaving her a vegetable, but like, she's not waking up. So I think he's more projecting that.
That is sad though.
Yeah. So then she goes to poker at Bree's, and Bree says now she's not going to go to the police because Mike got arrested, and they're kind of fighting over whose man murdered Monique Poulier. It's a really crazy
Yeah.
scene. Like, who puts up with worse?
It's not a great thing to be fighting about, like,
Yeah.
obviously. But I will say Susan came in kind of hot because the first thing she says as she's like, even before her butt is in the chair, she's like, "So, did you tell the police that Orson killed Monique?" or something like that.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, if somebody close to Orson has said that he killed this woman, maybe you should still tell the police so they can question them both.
Yeah.
Just a
No,
thought.
I don't even disagree with you there.
Yeah.
But Susan leaves after having this. It's practically a fight with Bree, but then she like quietly sneaks back in and she steals the key to Orson's office. Why does everybody on Wisteria Lane have a single cabinet in the kitchen with every single key labeled?
I think that's just Brie. It was Brie last time too.
No, because it was?
Yeah. I think it was Betty Applewhite snuck into Brie's house to get the key. Or somebody else snuck
No,
into
but
Brie's house to get a key.
somebody snuck in and got Paul's key. Remember?
No, Paul.
Yes, yes. What's her name? Felicia stole one of the keys out of Paul's house.
No, I think it was it Paul's house?
Yeah, because she had to get into his garage
I don't remember.
when she cut her finger off.
No, I think
It was
she got
Felicia
in a
Tillman.
different way. No, because the only other time there was like the labeled keys was when Bree still had the keys to the Mullins house. That's what it was. And it was Betty Applewhite's house. So that's how she got in there. And that's how she met Caleb.
Okay, yes. Oh, yes. But
Yeah, that's what you're
also,
thinking of.
don't you remember when Felicia was there and Paul walked in and like caught her and she was like, "Oh, I just needed to borrow flour."
I think she got let in by Zach.
Yeah, but she stole a key out of the cabinet.
No, I'm pretty sure Zach let her in.
But okay, Zach let her in. Even if that's the case, I don't feel like that can't be.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
don't
he
know.
had
I guess it's
keys. I
neither
don't
here
think he
nor
had
there.
keys. Yeah. Because the only other time is I remember Bree going to her own stash. Then Lynette goes to McCluskey's house and they're doing a whole protest for the pedophile to leave. And it's a little bit excessive. Like, this is a lot. It's like, if you
It
think
is.
somebody might be a predator, stay quiet, stay vigilant, don't let your kids near them, and that's it. But like fully running somebody out of town like
Right.
this with no evidence is really crazy. Like,
Yes,
that's
it's
bad.
absolutely insane. And Lynette is definitely starting to feel guilty. And she's the one who's pointing out, like, hey, we kind of like don't have evidence of it. So
Yeah, like
maybe don't
looks
do
like they're
that.
about to January 6th his house.
They would if they could.
Yeah. But the props were so funny. Like, no pedophiles allowed. And there was a really good one. Oh my
Right.
god, I should have written it down. But like, just imagine being like the prop guy, having to write like no pedophiles for this episode. They said pedophile a lot. Like, I wonder how that conversation about the storyline went at ABC.
Pedophile, pedophile, pedophile.
Pedophile. Susan sneaks into the office, and Orson is there, so she has to be sneaky.
Yeah, she sees him. She's like hiding in the closet and she looks out the crack of the door. That is ajar. And she sees him like settling in with pizza and she's like, oh no.
But it's
Because
like,
she's not getting out of there anytime soon.
you have a lot of money, just get a hotel.
I know. I guess if his office is like fully functional, it makes sense, but there's really no need.
I don't know. Sleeping at the office is such like a TV trope. Because I don't think anybody does that for real. Like, our cars get towed at the office if they're there overnight, so like, I don't know what they're planning.
I can't even imagine an office. Like having never worked in one, I almost crave it, you know? Like
Yeah.
this aesthetic of early 2000s um sitcom or dramedy. Like, I actually crave to experience that once.
Wait, sound the alarms. Listener Georgie just messaged me. The Wicked movie just ended.
What did he say?
He just said, just finished. Oh my God. Guys, listener Georgie right now is boots on the ground at the Wicked premiere in Mexico. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to hear about this.
Okay, wait. I'm so excited for him. He needs to tell us everything
I know.
that oh man. Wait,
No, like, I'm
also,
freaking out.
why is it premiering in Mexico before like New York?
Well, they did Australia first, then they did LA, now they're doing
Mhm.
Mexico, and then they're doing New York. I think New York's the last one. No, London is the last one. Because, like, the two biggest ones are New York and London.
Why did they start with Australia?
Oz, because it's Oz. Delta was there. Oh my God, I'm sick. He just sent me a photo of Ariana, Cynthia, and Jonathan Bailey.
Okay, send. Why is he not sending this to the podcast page?
I don't know. He's just messaging me on my personal. Imagine having, like, I'm sure it's an amazing film, but I would, like, having to watch this movie that you're in over and over again this many times within a couple weeks, I'd be banging my head
Yeah.
against the wall. Be like, stop.
That's-
stop.
yeah.
Like, I get it. Whatever. At least there's a part 2. Like, we can strategize for next year. But I love that they're doing like this old school style of like doing premieres. Like, this is, they don't really do this anymore because of the internet, but like doing a different premiere in each city builds up so much hype because we see all the outfits and like all the premiere and like everything instead of just doing one. Like, this is how it used to be, like in New York, LA, London.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they stopped doing it because I don't know why. It's stupid. Bring it back. More fanfare around it.
Yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah. I spent my entire childhood on the gossip blogs,
What was I doing?
reading Wicked and watching Wicked, probably.
Oh, right.
So then Amy, they're back at model camp, and Amy's like, stay away from my father. And Gabby's like, you can't tell me what to do. And she's like, yes, I can, because my mom died. So he does whatever I want. And I want him to marry Sherry's mom. So we can be, because we're best friends, we can be sisters. There's a lot going on in my notes.
There's something I would like to point out. It's an inconsistency between last episode and this one, where Gabby had addressed the room of all mothers. I don't think the dad was in that scene, when she said, you guys think my life is so amazing, but I envy you because you have families and husbands. And it's like, okay, so not only is that not true, but like, specifically Sherry's mom is divorced, I guess. Or yeah. And then Amy doesn't have a mom. So like, where is the consistency between these two episodes? Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, I think that Amy's dad wasn't there because he's too busy working. And then Sherry's mom wasn't there because she's a single mom too. So she couldn't be there because she doesn't have a husband to be at home with the other kids or to be at work. So it's possible that not all the
But there
parents
were like
there.
4 or 5 moms there.
Yeah, but like doesn't mean that all
But
the
don't you remember
parents had
that
to be there.
scene?
I do, but it doesn't mean that all the parents were there. Like if Hot Dad wasn't there.
Okay.
Like, I think it's just possible that they weren't present for that one conversation because maybe they were like, yeah, you kids should start throwing up. Like, maybe they weren't upset about it. I think Sherry's mom would be like promoting like clothes look better if you're skinny, for sure.
She's in a league of her own, let's put it that way.
Yeah, like Sherry came home and started throwing up, and Sherry's mom was like, well, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And now Sherry has a lifetime of trauma. Yeah. So then Bree goes into the office and Susan has to hide even more because Bree's there, and she's like, why haven't you returned my calls? And he goes, because I'm scared you were gonna divorce me, so I didn't want to answer. And she's like, well, I wanted you to call and explain. And then at the same time, we're back with Sherry. And Gabby pretty much breaks up this friendship for these two kids so she can have the hot dad.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I know. Like she's like, Amy sucks. I don't want to dance with her. I can't believe you already told her. She says, friends come and go, but the crown is forever.
Yeah, I wrote that line down too. Also, my other note says that there were only like 10 child actors at this time.
Real. All the other ones were on Disney Channel.
Then we see Orson explaining the situation to Bree. He talks about how Mother Hodge was the reason that he and Alma got together. He said that he was stupid enough to get her pregnant, and Bree is horrified because she's like, oh my God, you have a child. But Orson says, no, she like miscarried a month after the wedding, and he couldn't divorce her because Mother Hodge believes divorce is a sin.
And then this whole thing just is giving a lot of red flags to me, so I don't understand why Bree doesn't think anything of it, because he's like, I loved Monique. I loved her so much until then I met you. And it's like, Monique and Bree were very like close together in the timeline here. So
Does she know that?
I feel like she'd have to put two and two together, but she's man dumb, so like this wasn't like it was 10 years
Yeah.
ago. This was recent enough where if who's Bang Bang? What's her name?
Carolyn Bigsby. You
Carolyn
cannot
Bigsby.
remember that.
No, I can't. Well, like if it was recent enough, if Bang Bang was still obsessed with the whole situation, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
and then Susan is looking through his stuff and he finds letters to Gloria, and the return address is at the loony bin.
Yeah, it literally says it's a mental hospital. It's called like Elm Ridge or something.
Right.
And Susan is naturally horrified by this. The admissions paper says that he was in there for psychological depression.
And like a lot of people go to the crazy house. So it's like this isn't this isn't really giving much, really. Like
Right.
some people just go to the nut
Okay.
house to go to the nut house, you know? Yeah, I've never been, you guys, but a lot of people I know have, so. And more people should.
This next scene made me so mad.
Yeah.
Because Ian is mad at Susan for being 40 minutes late to a dinner that's not happening anyway.
And she's like, I'm really sorry. And he goes, does this have to do with Mike? And she's like, yeah, it just needs to help. A man is wrongfully in prison. Of course she's going to try to
Yeah.
help. And he's like, you're always going to be Mike's beck and call.
But did you notice, like, the biggest standout to me from this scene is that his voice sounds so much like an AI.
I did not notice
Oh my
that at
God,
all.
he sounded so bizarre, so monotonous, and not like he was acting at all. Like he literally sounded like he was coming off 11 Labs.
I don't associate with AI or watch any videos because I hate it. So I couldn't compare it to any AI because I'm anti-AI.
So, some of our listeners definitely know what I'm talking about.
But he basically says that he is going to set Mike's $1 million bail and pay for his lawyer, but she has to agree to never speak to him again, and that's really messed up.
It is. Absolutely it is.
Like he's manipulative and bad.
Yeah, I'm officially in the Ian Hate Club. I am the vice president. You are the president, naturally. And then, where do we go? Across the street to Art's house, where the protest is in full swing.
Like nuts. Like come on, you guys, get a life. And then like until you see
Yeah.
like maybe if you see Parker walk in there, be like, hey Parker, don't go to that house. But if he's just living life, like
Yeah.
it's okay. So then Amy and Sherry are fighting, and then Gabby calls the dad.
She pulled a whole, I hate you, and stomped out of the room.
And then the ambulance comes to get Nessa Rose, who had a heart attack due I don't know her real name. That's Nessa. No,
I think it's
literally
Rebecca.
Rebecca Nessa. The house literally fell on Nessa Rose. Good marching, witch hunters! Kill the witch.
Okay, so she says, "Good fortune, witch hunters." That's the first thing. It's good fortune, witch hunters.
It's gonna be crazy when I'm Elphaba on Broadway and I'm the infamous Elphaba that gets lyrics wrong on words wrong.
Yeah. You know what? I hope that the Wicked movie puts on subtitles for you.
I'm anti-subtitles, so I'd appreciate it not.
You're anti-subtitles? That's so ironic. Why do you think you're always screwing up the lyrics?
It doesn't matter. Like, I'll listen to it a lot. I've been actually listening to March of the Witch Hunters a lot lately.
Yeah, and you've been repeating it wrong. So now it's in your head as the wrong thing. Like, repetition is how you learn anything, and you've been repeating it incorrectly. Good marching, witch.
Wickedness must be punished. Must be punished. Punished. Kill the witch. I've got a score to settle with Elpha. With the witch.
Christy, I'm so tired. Please, I need to go to bed.
If she had let him fight his own battles when he was younger, he wouldn't be a coward.
Wouldn't be a coward today. Yeah, you actually almost got that one all the way right, so I'll let it go.
It's like a. I'm sorry, one more thing. I have this complex where if somebody says something is like vocally difficult, or for example, Margot Robbie said she did a plank for like 4 minutes. Margot Robbie is so beautiful, stunning, in perfect shape. I said, well, I have to do a plank for longer, so I did. I saw some TikTok and it was like the hardest song to sing is No Good Deed. The hardest line in the whole show is though Brittany win. What is the line I always mess up?
All of that.
No, it's like it's like no good deed will I do. No, it's my road of good intentions led to where such roads always lead. No good deed. And she was like, it's really hard to go down and then up. And I was like, well, I can do it. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
I think I manifested strengthening in my vocals by like being better than everybody.
Wait, Christy, Georgie just sent pics to the podcast. What is Cynthia wearing?
I literally messaged him, hate Cynthia's outfit. My road of good intentions left where such roads always lead.
Not even close. Okay, so we have to finish this. We have to, because
The
my computer's
road
gonna
of
die
good
now.
intentions
It was fully
left
charged when I
roads
signed
to
up.
always lead. Okay. So yeah, so the ambulance calls to get Nessa Rose, and then he leaves, and they start egging him, which is like, come on, you guys. His invalid sister just had a heart attack. Like, invalid is really rude because it's saying somebody's invalid.
And then we see Bree and Orson are in the process of getting rid of Gloria. And Gloria's not too happy. She gets on the phone with an unknown person on the other end, except we know who it is. And she says, meet me on the corner at 7:30 or something. And it made me giggle because it's kind of like it made me giggle because it's like, which corner, you know? Like, it's so non-specific. Just the corner.
And then Art comes home alone, and Lynette's like, I am so sorry. I'll help with the funeral arrangements. This is all my fault. You literally killed a woman, Lynette. I hope you're happy.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy too. So then he's like, you did this. This is all your fault. And he goes, well, you know what? She chose to ignore some parts about me, and now I feel free. I was taking care of Nessa, so I couldn't slip up, but now I have nothing holding me back. So he's basically insinuating now he can be a full-blown predator.
Yeah, I really don't get why he said that. Why would he say that?
Like, you could have just not said it.
Right, what a weird thing to say.
So, you know you're a predator, and you're just gonna go out and say it now. I think it was more just like,
Yeah,
because if
yeah.
he had just disappeared and we had heard nothing and we'd seen nothing, then it would have been like, well, what was the point of that? So I think it's just like confirmation to the viewer that he actually was, and this wasn't all for nothing. I feel like they probably had bigger plans for it, but like a child predator on network TV is a little bit too dark.
Still better than season 2. I loved the window montage at the
Me
end
too,
for
I wrote
Mary
that
Alice's
down.
outro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really beautifully done.
Agreed. And then Mother Hodge leaves and somebody's picking her up, and it is Alma. Alive and well.
Dun dun dun. And that's our episode, everybody.
The Wizard and I. Okay, thank you all for listening. Will our next episode be when we see the Wicked movie, or is there one more in between?
No, we have one more.
Okay, because countdown's on. We're seeing it in 9 days.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. All right, follow us on social media, and you guys know the drill. We'll catch you on the flippity flip. This has been
We know what you did.
It Makes Us Sick.
We're
going
to
to tell. And
y'all come back now, you hear?
y'all hear?